Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. It's lovely to see you all here. There's a lot of people in the room. It is awesome to see you all here and people still in the waiting room. I will keep trying to let people in as they arrive. Awesome to see everybody here. Please turn your cameras on, say hello, unmute yourself and say hello. This is a very interactive webinar tonight. Who have we got in the room today? Alison is here. Nice to see Alison. I'm going to go around the screen. Julie's here. Awesome to see Julie, who's just smashed some dinner before her next meeting, which is awesome. Don and Caitlin are here. Nice to see you guys. Tracy's here. Natasha Price is here, you wonderful woman. Nice to see you. David Lawson, haven't seen you for ages. Linda here. Nice to see you. Amanda Dowd is here. Karen Callahan, lovely to see you. Karen Fernando. Ingrid is here. Nice to see you, Ingrid. I see you waving there. Nick's here too. Nick's night, got to have next night. Nick and I are also doing a webinar at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So this is just a practice run, I reckon, Nick. Christina's here as well. And Katrina Worm, lovely to see you, Katrina. Awesome to see you. Hopefully your black eyes are healing nicely. Katrina had a run in with some ground somewhere. Did you find your head on some, I can't remember now what you were up to, but didn't look very pretty when I saw it last time when we saw your photos. So awesome to see everybody here. We're at 15 people in the room and we are recording, which is awesome. So for those who are joining the recording, welcome, welcome, welcome as well. Leanne's just joining us as well. It's wonderful to see you all here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to go very quick, guys. I am going to talk fast because I normally talk fast. So take plenty of notes. Have one of these and one of these handy. You'll need both of those, a pen and a notepad. I'll say that in Australian, a pen and a notepad, just in case you didn't get the New Zealand accent. So to have those handy, we're going to go through this very quickly. What I want you to do for me, please, if you can, is pop into the chat box what the most frustrating thing for you is right now in terms of getting your brand out there. What is the most frustrating thing for you? If you can pop that in the chat box, what is frustrating you the most at the moment in terms of getting your brand out there, getting your business more well known, attracting people to your brand, getting well known, getting out there and being seen? What really frustrates you? What's annoying? What's pissing you off? I want to know. What have we got here? Ingrid, hello from France. Oh, Francais. Wonderful to see you. I wonder whether you'll be watching the rugby tonight. Australia are playing France this evening in Australia. Who knows? She said it's only rugby. It's not important. I agree with you. Christina, marketing and social media in general. Christina, I'd love to know if there's anything more specific. Too busy, David. Absolutely. Not enough time. What's that line in that song? Too much month at the end of my money. Yeah, not enough time to get everything done. Absolutely. Just starting out from Amanda, gosh, that can be very, very, very frustrating. And it's really concerning if you don't know where to go. Where to start, Katrina? Yeah, absolutely. What to do and where to start. There are so many options. So tonight is going to be really helpful for you guys. Tracy, lots of work and not much return. Isn't that a bitch, Tracy? That's probably the most annoying, frustrating. All that effort and time and money and nothing. Crickets. So absolutely, I'm with you on that one. So let's sort that out for you tonight. Karen Callaghan, not having direct competitor to learn from. Well, in a way, Karen, not having a direct competitor is a good thing. I wouldn't be complaining too much about that, but I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's really hard when you're in a marketplace, when you are so unique that you actually have to educate people about what it is you do and how you solve the problem and everything else, because there's no competitor out there. You're not fighting for clients. You're trying to educate clients so they even know that you exist. So yeah, absolutely, I get you there. Ingrid, most frustrating, getting good clients. Yeah, get rid of the rubbish ones, Ingrid. Absolutely. I've got a really good lesson for you. Life is too short for assholes. The best thing you can do with the rubbish clients is introduce them to your competitors and tell them, no, I'm sorry, I'm too busy. Like David, too busy, can't work with you, but I know someone who's got plenty of time. Introduce them to your competitors, absolutely. Christina, finding time to do the marketing, absolutely. Working on your business rather than in your business. It is the hardest thing. And to make sure you're being consistent. And it's like all of a sudden, oh my goodness, it was 14 days since I posted anything. I've been head down, bum up. And now all of a sudden that trickle of clients that keeps coming through is drying up. and I should have been keeping on going, my posting and being out there. How do you balance that? Absolutely. Julie, social media and different approaches, what works? Yeah, good question, Julie. What does work in social media? I mean, seriously, because as Tracy said, we spend so much time on this. What on earth can we do to make sure we get some return? It feels like a full-time job. Absolutely, Christina. And yeah, when you have your own business and you're your own entrepreneur, yeah, marketing and promoting yourself actually is part of your job description. It's something that you have to do. And even if you're outsourcing, even if you've got somebody else who does things for you, you still need to be driving the bus. You still need to be having the strategy and so on. So yeah, absolutely. So cool. Thank you so much, guys, for that feedback. And yes, please keep it going in the chat box. I will try and monitor that as I go. But probably what we'll do is we'll answer questions and do Q&A at the end, because I really want to give you the step system and process that we use and that I've been teaching my clients for years, and it's been working incredibly well for them, A, to have a strategy, to feel like they're not all over the place, B, to make really good use of their time, to make sure that when they are out there promoting and marketing themselves, they're actually getting a return, and C, knowing what's going to work for them. Almost before they do it, they know this is going to work. So they're not wasting any time doing stuff that doesn't work. So, so very, very cool. I'm just going to minimize that part of my screen. I am going to start screen sharing with you. This is the one I want to share with you. Hopefully you can see that screen. We are in the right place. The Audacious Agency this evening with Lauren Clement, your guest. I'm your brand navigator, and I'll be helping you to figure out how to make sure you're marketing your brand really smart. Let's be clever. Let's work smarter, not harder, and make sure that you're getting out there, because marketing really is where the rubber hits the road. It can be fun, but it can also be incredibly frustrating, as we've all been talking about. So especially if you don't know what you're doing and where you're going, it can be very hard. So let's get some clarity and some direction and give you a way forward. So number one, the first thing you need to realize is that our brains are incredibly overwhelmed. It's not just you guys that are overwhelmed, it's your audience as well, your prospects, your clients, your customers. There's something happening in the world right now called infobesity. Do you like that word? Infobesity. Yeah, I learned that from Sam Horn the other day, amazing speaker. Infobesity, just so much information. Back in the 1970s, when I was a child, I'm not that old. I was in short pants at least when it was 1970. I was pretty young. I was born in 1968. Where our brains were hit with about 500 branded messages a day. Today, it's closer to 5,000. So it's just like this massive amount of information, this overload that we're getting. So the traditional methods of marketing that I grew up with, and that you, if you're in your 50s, would have seen as well, the TV, the radio, magazines, newspapers, and so on, they are all still there, but there's also added on top of that all the different social media channels, the live streaming. I mean, I don't know whether you're the same as I am. I tried to watch the soccer the other day, the UEFA Cup final. It wasn't on KO. It wasn't on Stan Sports. It wasn't on ABC. It wasn't on Channel 9. It wasn't on 7. I had to go and download another new app, Optus Sport, in order to watch the soccer match. And I just wanted to see the end. I just wanted to see what was happening. So yet another app on my TV or on my phone. So we are absolutely bombarded with all these different channels. And then there's the worldwide pandemic that's happening, that's all over the news every day, and we're sick of it, and we wish the world could get back to normal, and all these other sorts of things going on in our lives. So just realize that right now, it's actually getting so hard to cut through the noise and to cut through the clutter. Back in my day, when I was working in advertising and we had TV, radio, billboard, outdoor, press, magazine, we didn't even have the internet back then. There was a bit of a barrier to entry. It cost money. It cost real hard cash to get yourself onto TV or into some of those channels. Yes, radio was cheaper. Magazines are more expensive than the newspaper and so on, because they hung around a bit longer, and newspapers were over in a day, but you had to pay in order to get in there. Do you remember the Yellow Pages? The Yellow Pages used to be around, and you had to pay big bucks the bigger your ad, right? So there was a barrier to entry. Well, guess what? Today we've got YouTube. You can jump on and make your own television channel for free. You've got podcasts. You can create your own radio station for free. You can write blogs and create your own magazine for free. So it's easier to do, But guess what? Because it's easier, there is so much out there. And I'm sure you would agree with me. There are good blogs and good podcasts and great YouTube channels, and there's some real shit out there as well. So there's a whole raft of quality, but there's just a massive quantity. And I don't think it helps that you've got the likes of Gary Vaynerchuk out there saying, you've got to keep creating more content. You know, you've got to hustle, and it's just going to kill you. So let's get around how you can just not be wallpaper, not be vanilla, make sure you stand out, and make sure that you are using the right channels at the right time with the right message so that you're engaging the right audience and you're getting out in front of the right people and you're putting yourself in their shoes and understanding how to do that. So very quickly, I'm just going to go through some of the major problems, the big mistakes that people make. Number one mistake that people make in marketing, especially if you're running your own business, and especially if you are online or if you've created a website or a program or a book or whatever else, and you're trying to sell that product or that service. Number one mistake people make is they create and they put a huge amount of effort into that, and then they wish and they hope and they pray that someone's going to come along and see it. Wishing and hoping will not create marketing for you. So no one is going to come and rescue you. No one is going to accidentally stumble across your blog and put you in front of Ellen or Oprah, you know, unless you do something really concentrated and clever and out there, no one will see you. It is so easy, as I said before, to create content. Put your hand up, put a little hand up, or put a yes in the chat box if you yourself know, and I'm like one of them, are absolutely guilty of going out and creating amazing content and then doing sweet FA with it. We might post a blog, put it out there, share it once on Facebook, and then we forget about it, right? Or maybe we wrote an ebook 14 million years ago, and it's really great content, but it's sitting on our Dropbox, or it's sitting on a landing page, or it's sitting on an old website somewhere, and we don't send anyone there. Who's guilty of creating content and not doing anything with it? Yeah? All the brain waves we have in the shower, the ideas we come up with while we're out for a walk, the great stuff we do, but we then fail to focus long enough on it to properly launch it. How many blogs have you written and just done nothing about them? You've just let them just sit there on your website and haven't even told anyone that they're there. How many times have you been interviewed on a podcast? You've been a podcast guest, and that was awesome, and it was fun, and it was great, and you promoted it once or twice, and then you've forgotten about it. Or you've created a program or a guidebook, or you've run an event, a webinar, an event, and you promoted the shit out of it, and then you had it, and then you've forgotten about it. You haven't repurposed it, you've done nothing. You've created really valuable stuff, great content that's just sitting there and it's not being leveraged. No one is going to stumble across your blog or your program or your book or your product. You have to actually take action. You have to do something in order to make that thing seen and have your brand seen. So how do you get around that? Well, for a start, stop making any more content. Can everyone on this webinar tonight and those watching the recording, please make a promise to me as of tonight that you will stop making any more content until you have a strategy in place, until you are prepared to review what you have already in the bank. Chances are you guys already have so much awesome content. You've written blogs, you've been on websites, you've been on podcasts, you've been in the paper, you've got photos, you've created a book, you've made something, you've created something already, you've got something to a point where you could actually use it and leverage it. Something that worked. It was a landing page or a lead gen, or you've sold tickets to an event, or you got people coming to a webinar. Yeah, just focus on the fact that you've been a success and go and review the stuff that worked, the things that got engagement on your social media, the stuff that got likes and comments. When did someone pay you for something, for a product or a service? When did you really get success? Go back and review those times and focus on that content and reuse it. Think about what is going to be the number one result giver that you could grab right now that will turn into income for your business, that'll turn into sales, that'll turn into converted leads, into downloads, into people in your database, people coming to your events, people buying your products. It's so important that you focus on the stuff that works. rather than constantly coming up with these brand new ideas. We all have this bright, shiny object-itis in our brains because we're all entrepreneurs, right? But the trouble is, the kryptonite is that FOMO, that fear of missing out. And that, you know, oh my goodness, what if I don't do it? Focus on the stuff that works. If you've got a lead gen and somebody downloaded it at least once, or maybe you had 3 or 4 people come and listen to you at an event, or 100 people come to a webinar that you had, go back to that. What worked? Review it. How did you market it? What did it look like? What were you offering? What did it convert with? What was the upsell? Really think about what worked and go back to that and think, how can I create specific content, renewing what I've already done that I know works? Because guess what, guys? It is so much more rewarding to create something that actually gets results, isn't it? So much more rewarding than putting all this effort and time into new stuff. New stuff's exciting. I get it. Oh my goodness, I come up with ideas every day. But I always go back to, is this taking me closer to my goal? Is this going to engage the right people? Or am I just having FOMO? Have I just seen somebody else doing this? So the big thing I want you to write down tonight as a way of getting over this hoping and wishing that everything works, create a plan and then rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. Create a plan and go back to the stuff that works. Tweak it, update it, modernize it, you know, keep making it better, but go back to the stuff that works, rinse and repeat. It's boring. It's blimmin' boring compared to coming up with cool stuff. But I tell you what, if it gets you results, you need to keep doing it. If it's not getting results, stop doing it. That's the number 1 mistake people are making. Number 2 mistake that people are making. Anyone suffer from this? It has to be perfect before it gets out there. Yeah. Second biggest mistake I see all the time. People wait. They absolutely wait. Haven't finished writing your book yet. Haven't done all the videos in your program yet. Haven't nailed down the elements of my event or my retreat that I'm going to have. Haven't quite, you know, sorted out my packaging. You know, oh, I'll start promoting once it's perfect. Wrong thing to do. So often we have people come to us and tell us that they've spent $20,000 and $30,000 and $50,000 building a retreat or a program or a concept or content or whatever. And they're going, I've built this, I've just spent the last 3 years building it, it's cost me a fortune, now can you help me market it? And our first question is, why did you build it? What have you been doing in those 3 years? Who have you told about it? Oh, I didn't want to tell anyone because it wasn't ready yet. So it's the number 2 mistake people make, and you've really got to get over that perfect-itis, that need to have it perfect. You need to have what we call an MVP. And an MVP isn't necessarily most valuable player, although you could use that terminology, a minimal viable product. Just make it happen, right? If you want to get people paying you for stuff, you need to get out there with it. If you're writing a book and you haven't finished the book yet, create the cover of the book. Create the cover of the book, put it on a pre-order page and start marketing it before you finish writing the book. Get out there and get pre-orders for it. If you are creating a program, an online program or a class or a platform, just create lessons 1 to 3. There might be a 10-step program. Just create lesson 1. Go out with a pre-launch. You know, get people to attend a webinar. Ask for beta testers. Get people to pay a little bit to beta test your program and give them lesson 1 to 3. And then guess what? Once you've got your 10 clients paying you $500 each, awesome. You've got an income, build the rest of the program. Don't wait. Don't make it perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be done. If you're doing an event, if you're looking at getting people to come along to an event, don't wait until you've got all your ducks in a row and all the prices in and you know exactly what they're going to eat and when they're going to sleep and how much it's going to cost. Set up an event landing page, put up an early bird deposit price. Yeah, early bird deposit, and then get people to pre-book. I've discovered my computer isn't plugged in. Hold on the phone, guys. I'm just going to plug it into the wall, otherwise I'll run out of power. That's going to help, isn't it? Oh, I'm back. Awesome. Thank God for that. And I can add some more people to the webinar, which is cool. So yeah, so if you're running an event, don't make it perfect. Don't know that you've got all the guests and you've got all the catering and you might not even have a location yet. That's awesome. Put it out there. Put out the event. What is it? Who is it for? What's it going to do for people? What are they going to get out of it? Put up a deposit to claim their space. See if you can sell it first. Start promoting. And then when you get people going, yes, please, I want to come along, awesome. Guess what you can do, guys? If you do it this way, you can go back to the people who have put their name down for an early bird copy of your book, or to test drive your program, or to come to your retreat. And guess what you can do with them? You can ask them questions. You can ask them, what would you like to eat at my retreat? What sort of speakers would you like? What are you most looking forward to reading in my book? What would you really like to get out of my program? And guess what? You can actually create a better engagement and a better outcome for your clients and your prospects and the people who come to you if you do it that way. Because you're actually asking them to be involved. You're giving them what they want, rather than spending so much time trying to create the perfect program and then discovering that actually there's some stuff in it that they don't even need. Does this make sense, guys? So don't wait. If you suffer from perfect-itis, you need to get over yourself and realize that actually nothing is perfect. There's no such thing. You're better to just get it out there and start promoting and get your minimal viable product going and see if you can get people to come and actually split with the cash. Will people buy it? It's really, really important. So the next biggest mistake that I see, and it's something that we all suffer from, WAFDAM. I'm sure you've heard of WAFDAM, a waste of freaking time and money. It's exactly what WAFDAM stands for. Now, marketing can cost you huge in terms of time and money if you don't have a strategy. It's like being lost in the bush and having a map but no compass. So having a map, which to me is a marketing action plan, you'll be able to see where everything is. You'll be able to see where your customers are, how to get to them, which channels to use, all that sort of stuff. But if you don't know where you are on that map, if you don't know what direction to go in, what's the point of having a map? So your map is your marketing, but you need your brand as your compass. You need to know who you are, what you want, who you want to reach, what you want to stand for, how you want to reach people, what your message is, how you're going to engage them, what your point of difference is. You need to make sure you've got that in place. You need to be really clear about your direction, because WAFDAM can kill your business. It absolutely destroys cash flow, and it just degrades what you're doing and makes life seem so hopeless when you're running a business and getting no returns, no results. So be aware of WAFDAM, that waste of flipping time and money. And if you ever get to a point in your marketing when somebody says, do you know what you should do? You should advertise on the radio, or you should pay Google ads, or you should come and sponsor this event. Just double check first. Does this fit with my brand? Is this getting me closer to my goal, or is it just a distraction? So tonight, we're really going to nail that last mistake. We're really going to get into brand strategy and how to keep you on constant track, on giving you that direction, getting you 100% clear on your brand purpose so that you can create your own marketing action plan. And we'll go through that tonight. So check in with yourself, check in with your brand, check your brand true north. You know, what do you stand for? What's the problem you solve? Who do you want to do it for? What do you do differently? What's the transformation that takes place when people work with you? What are all the reasons why they should work with you? And what's your purpose and why you're so passionate about what you do? And get really clear on the number one thing I want you to think about tonight to do with brand strategy. I want you to think about, how do you want your brand to make people feel? What's the number one emotion that you want people to have when they engage with your brand? Whether that's with you personally or online or marketing collateral, or they buy your book, or they hear someone refer to you, or they see your social media. What's the emotion that you want to create with your brand? How do you want to make people feel? Because emotion is the number one way to engage with people's brains. Now, I'm going to explain that to you. I don't even have to show you the whole logo with these three brands. I have to show you a little bit of the logo and you know what they are, don't you? Yeah, McDonald's, Coke and Nike. The first thing you need to understand is that we all buy with emotion and we justify our purchase with fact later on. So even if you only see just a small part of these brands, They have been so good at pushing this emotion the whole time that you know what you're going to get. McDonald's, Happy Meals, easy, convenient. You know, you just know, happy place, keep the kids happy, awesome. Coca-Cola, sociable. You have a Coke, you have lots of friends at your place, you have a party, you know, so it's a good feeling again. Nike, it's all about action. Put them on, run a marathon. Take action. The Greek goddess of Nike, she had wings, she was really fast. So, you know, we know what these brands stand for. You don't even need to see a sign that says, oh, you can come to our place and have a hamburger. You don't need to say any of that. So this is what you want with your brand. Now, your brands are small compared to these guys. They have spent literally billions of dollars and decades to create their brands. But you can do exactly what they've done just by tapping into people's emotion. So really think hard. What is the number one thing you want your brand to stand for? What's the number one emotion that you want to have behind your brand purpose? Find that emotion and really get clear on, I can own this part of people's hearts and minds. I can own this space. So any thoughts? I'm going to open up the chat box if I can find it. There's lots of chat going on in there. So what is, if you can put in there, what do you think the number one emotion is for your brand? Pop them in there into the chat box and we'll see what everyone's thinking about. Enjoyment on the golf course, absolutely. Nick, I would say even more than on the golf course, I'd say just fucking enjoyment. Golf can be really horrible. People throw their clubs and break their clubs and go home shitty and all the rest of it. Yeah, enjoyment is fantastic. Alinda, hope. What a great emotion. Hope, that genuine optimism. Sleeping well, Liana. Awesome. So what happens when you sleep well? Maybe your emotion is refreshed or vital or full of energy, boundless. Tracy, empowerment. Empowerment's an awesome word. I love it. But what does it really mean? How do you feel when you're empowered? Is it strong, confident, winner? Ingrid, satisfaction. I like that. Where do you get satisfactory products from, Ingrid? Satisfactory. So yeah, it's just some fun and games. Yes, satisfaction is okay, but what does that mean? Does it mean comfort? Does it mean safety? Does it mean I feel really good about myself? I'm, you know, comfortable and snug from Amanda. Absolutely. Fat Wombat, absolutely comfortable and snug. Snug's a great word. Snug, I love it. I'm even wearing my Ugg boots tonight, know exactly what it feels like. Julie, self-confidence, absolutely. Self-belief is a big one, Julie. Believing in yourself, knowing you can do it, feeling really powerful and strong. Christina, absolute trust, absolute trust. So what I want you to do is your homework, and we'll do this a bit later on, I'll give you the tools to do it, is I want you to dig deeper, go really deep into those words and find, what does it mean? What words do you use when you say absolute trust? Without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt, is absolute trust, isn't it? Confident from Karen, absolutely. Other words that mean confident. No stress from David. I love that. Just feeling good about life, loving life. Confidence, resilience. What a great word, Natasha. Resilience and strength. Courage is a great word. I love it. Confident, accepted is a great word, Tracy. So they're all great words, guys. Fantastic. Keep it up. Keep working on those and keep thinking about that over the next 24 to 48 hours. And think about the words that you use when you feel confident. What do you say to people? How does it feel inside you when you have those emotions going through your body? So what we're going to do is, this is the questions I normally ask people when we go through creating a single-minded purpose for your brand. If you want to write these down and go through them yourselves, it's fine. We're not going to cover them in this webinar tonight because that would be a whole other hour that we would do. But they're questions I need you to ask yourself to help you get really clear on your brand purpose. When is your brand at its best? When is it really in flow and aligned and doing the most amazing work? You know, that's what we talked about before, focusing on the stuff that works, the stuff you should be doing, so that you can start saying no to stuff that's just a distraction. What will your brand never do? And this is all about compromise. It's all about making sure that your brand stands out from the competition, because you don't do what other brands do. An example of that is an audiologist that I worked with years ago, and she had been in the industry for many, many years, in the hearing industry, and she came back into the industry after having a couple of years off and relaunched her brand, and I helped her do that. And she said, the one thing I will never do is I will never give people a free hearing test. And she said back in the 80s, when they started to do that, basically clinics were told not to, because it's not really a proper test. It's just a way of getting people in off the street and selling them a hearing aid. But nowadays, everybody's doing it. And she said, I'll never do it. So she went out there with her marketing and said, we don't do free hearing tests. We do proper hearing tests. They're $197. They take an hour and a half. You can bring your hearing device with you and we fit it properly and so on. Guess what? She had a waiting list of people who previously had gone to the free hearing test and had been fitted with a hearing device that they never used. And they came to her clinic and they got a proper test and they got a proper fitting and they walked out saying, I wish I'd done this years ago. So she won a huge amount of respect and credibility and a huge clientele by not doing what everybody else was doing. So what will your brand never do? What do you see other people in your industry doing that you go, I'd never do that? Start talking about it. Start making it part of your brand promise. Then what are the things that your brand stands for? What are the 3 things that it stands for? The Audacious Agency, we absolutely stand for 3 things: being bold, standing up for something, standing out for something, being courageous and standing up and going, yes, I believe in this, and being prepared to get out there and be a little bit contentious. Being real, authentic, consistent, and realistic. It takes time. It really does take time to build a brand. It isn't an overnight success. There's no such thing as a silver bullet. And the last thing we stand for is being you. Be different. Go back to your DNA. Don't be a copy of other people. Be responsible for your own brand, but be you. So be bold, be real, and be you. Those are the 3 things we stand for. So you get that every single time you come to our brand, whether you're dealing with me or Annette or any one of our team, you get the same feeling, and we're here to help you do it. So what are the 3 things that your brand stands for? They give you integrity. They make sure that every promise you make is going to stand up. So really think about that. And I also want you to think about the future. When it comes to your brand purpose, I want you to think about, where will you be in 3 years' time? Write it down, get really clear. Who are your clients? Where will you be? How big will your business be? Who'll be referring people to you? Who are your affiliates and your partners? Where are you based? How many staff do you have? How many products are you selling? Whereabouts are they selling? What media are you in? Where are you speaking? What podcasts are you on? Be really clear about where you want your brand to be. It's going to take 3 years to build a standout brand. So you don't want to get distractions. If you can clearly write down where you want to be in 3 years' time, when you do get those bright, shiny object-itis ideas, you can go, will this help me get there, or is it just a distraction? It'll really help you stay on track. So hopefully you've got all of those questions written down. That's a bit of homework for you. Again, if you want me to do a webinar just on this, I'm more than happy to do it. But ask yourself those questions. We're going to focus on that last one. What is your brand? One word. And it's back to that emotion. Yeah. And after this webinar, I do want you to do some homework on this. I want you to keep working on it. I want you to take some time to consider what you've learned tonight. And I want you to just simplify, get rid of the clutter and the mess and the noise. Take some time out to be creative. Don't expect that you can sit in front of a computer or go head-to-head meetings all day and then work on the marketing of your business. It just doesn't happen like that, guys. In the big advertising agencies I worked in, it was never expected that the creatives would be in their office sitting behind their desks all day coming up with these great ideas for ads. No, they'd be off at art galleries and out in the park and surfing and at the pub. Some of the best ideas were scrawled on the back of an envelope or on a bar mat in the pub. So get out there and find ways to be creative. Go for a walk. Contemplate these things. Don't rush it. Let it come to you. Let it sit and get really clear. So don't panic, but keep working on it. So let's talk about how you can find your brand one word. Some examples. The really top brands out there create, like I say, that instant emotional response. They own a place in the hearts and minds of consumers. And their brand creates that instant feeling whenever you see it. They've got that one emotion at the core of their brand. With Volvo, it's all about safety, isn't it? Every single one of the ads, safety. With Apple, it's all about innovation, pushing the envelope, doing the most amazing things. Steve Jobs was incredibly innovative with what he did. Even their advertising was innovative. Red Bull, it's all about energy. If you think about all the brands out there, you could probably figure out what their one word is if you just think about how they want to make people feel. So go back to that science of neurobranding. Remember, the brain sees brands. It interacts with brands with colors and shapes and words that mean something. It engages with emotion. So choose your one word well and consider what's going to be the most consistent for you. So think about the emotion. How do you want to make people feel? But also think about your natural skills and talents, your personality, your brand personality, and your passion and your purpose, your reason for being, your reason why you're even in business. What are you trying to achieve? And just make sure that you are really honing down on how you want to make people feel, and the number one thing you want people to react to and resonate with when they see your brand, and keep working on that word. Now, all those emotions that you gave me before, awesome. They were awesome. So good. What I want you to do for homework is go and check them out. I think someone said comfort. So what were the other ones we had? I need to open up the chat box. You know, empowered, strong, resilience, trust. Really good word. I want you to go to the thesaurus. It's my favorite branding tool of all the branding tools out there. Type in your one word and then go and have a look. Go and have a look at all these different words that mean the same thing. Yes, safe also means snug, Amanda. So, you know, can you use the word safe? You know, keep your kids safe, keep your body safe, keep your metabolism safe. Could you also use sheltered or okay? Or there's lots of other words in here. Intact, guarded, out of danger, tended, looked after. So go and type in your one word, your emotion, into the thesaurus. It's just thesaurus.com, and find lots of other words that mean the same thing. And dig deep. There might be another word that you really like that means the same thing, but you go, that's my thing. That's what I really stand for. And guess what? You can use all of these words in your marketing. You can use all of these words on your website. It doesn't have to be safe, 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 safe all the time. You can use all of these different words at different times in different places because they give the same emotion. They give the same meaning. So they're very similar words. So go find the word that really makes sense to you and to your brand, and find the one that fits, and then go and search the thesaurus and find as many other words that mean that, and they stand for how you want to make people feel when they interact with you, and start using them in your marketing, on your website, in your collateral, in your brochures, on your packaging, on everything you do. Start using these words. And a bit more homework if you want to do it, which is really cool. And I know we've got some brand crafters on the call tonight who are doing this as well. Go and create a mood board for your brand. This is one of the major tools that we use in advertising all the time. When you've got your one word, this is an example. This was Trusalia. Their one word was true. It was all about the truth, sourcing the best, researching, trusted. You know, they use the word tested on humans. You know, before they sell something, they're actually going into the marketplace and finding the product and testing it and using it and quality controlling it before they even add it in to their product range. Colors, shapes, images, symbols, icons, words, quotes, famous quotes that you can find, poems, phrases, or sayings. Go and find those things online and put them together into a mood board. Here's another one that's been used by one of the coaches, good old Cameron Allen. His one word was ignite. Ignite, not just fire up people, but ignite. You know, fired up and ready to go. Let's get it done. Get to that next level. Let's go for it. So you can use PowerPoint to create your mood board. You can use Canva. You can use Pinterest. You can even go and get a magazine and make an actual physical mood board if you want to. But go and put it onto one page. Images, colors, icons, symbols, sayings, quotes, anything that really gives you that emotion. And then put it somewhere so that whenever you're doing your marketing, you take a quick look at this and you get yourself in the mood for your marketing, so that you're writing with passion, you're writing with meaning and purpose and feeling and emotion. So the content that you're creating isn't just good, it's freaking awesome. It's so engaging, it so resonates. And people are looking at it going, oh my goodness, I love this. If you can start marketing with such emotion that people immediately resonate with it, you are going to get way more engagement, way more conversion, way more clients, way more money. You can up your prices and all the rest of it, because guess what? We buy with emotion. We buy with emotion. So do a mood board. It's really fun. It's a great part of marketing that hardly anybody talks about, and it's a really good way of making sure that you are consistent with your messaging. Is this helping, guys? I know I'm going fast. I know I'm giving you a truckload of information, but I want to make sure that you've got this. So when you've got your one word, that becomes your strategy, right? It's your overarching strategy for your entire marketing plan is that one word. Bold is the Audacious Agency's one word. Bold. It's out there, right? So that's overarching everything that we do. So use that to create a marketing action plan. I'm going to share with you how to do that. So here are the steps to create a marketing action plan. You get your one word brand strategy. You find that emotion, you create your mood board, you find lots of other words that are similar to that, and you go, this is what I stand for. This is what I'm all about. This is the number one thing I want people to remember and feel about me whenever they see my brand. Then once you've got that, I want you to choose a theme for each month. Go through your calendar and choose a theme for January, February, March, April, May, etc. that fits with your one word brand strategy. So if your number one emotion is resilience, was Natasha's word, yeah, resilience, awesome word, right? So in January, you might talk about how to be strong when it's a new year, you know, how to stand up and make sure that you're doing things the right way this year. I love that, stand up, Natasha, when you're talking about somebody in wheelchairs, you know, how to be strong, how to get through that period. Consider newsjacking. Now, newsjacking is a really cool way of making sure that you can jump on top of content that's already out there. So if you think about it, what's already happening in January? New year, new you, New Year's resolutions, etc., right? So people are already in that brain space. They're already thinking about that. So how can you create a monthly theme that fits with your brand strategy that is current? It's a current affair. It's something that people are already talking about. So exactly that. Hope, new year, making New Year's resolutions. Do you want to hope that it happens, or do you actually want to make some resolutions that you can fulfill and be really hopeful about the year ahead and actually get things done? So that's newsjacking. That's creating a theme for the month based on what people are already thinking about using your brand strategy. Empowerment. It's a great one to use for January. New year, new you. Empowerment, you know, being the real you, standing out there and being proud of who you are. So that's really awesome. You've just newsjacked it for January. Check the important dates during every month. Things like Christmas. Guess what, guys? They happen on the same date every year. Mother's Day, Father's Day, Easter, holidays. Are there certain industry things that happen at certain times of the year that you can tap into? And repurposing. Repurposing is so important. And we'll go into how to repurpose in a minute. So let's quickly go through them, shall we? Here we go. Here's some ideas. We're going to start in August. August, depending where you are, it's either the height of summer or the middle of winter. So regardless, you've got outdoor activities. You're either surfing or skiing, summer fun or winter blues. So you could base it on what's going on in the season. Overarching, okay? Hope, August, summer. Are you hoping that this summer is going to last forever? Well, here's some ways of making sure that you get that summertime feeling, being hopeful in your life for the whole year. There you go. I've just given you a theme for August, if it's summer where you are, and your overarching brand strategy is hope. Let's do it for winter. So hope, winter. Are you hoping winter's going to end soon because you can't wait to be warm again? Well, here's some ways of creating a more hopeful mindset and actually enjoying the cold. Another theme, it fits with what's going on in the season, it's the right time of year, and it's your overarching brand strategy. Resilience, we could do the same thing. Resilience, how to be resilient in summer where it's really dry and there's no water. You could tell stories about plants and how they store the water in their bulbs, or in the winter, locking the heat away inside their bodies. And yet this is how they deal with it. How to be resilient as a human being in the middle of summer or the middle of winter. So there you go. There's a topic for the month based on your overarching brand strategy to do with this season. And I did it in 2 seconds, right? So you can do the same. There are also key things that happen in August. August is Inventor Month, in case you didn't know. Maybe you can talk about inventing things. The 9th of August is the International Day of Indigenous People. The 12th of August is International Youth Day. The 19th of August is World Humanitarian Day. The 21st is Remembrance of Victims of Terrorism Day. The 29th is the Day Against Nuclear Testing. How do I know this? Google. Go and find days in that month, or is it the month that means something? What happens in August that you can newsjack off of that makes sense, that people are already talking about, that fits with your brand strategy? If you can figure this out, guys, it doesn't take much research to do it. But if you can write a really good article or a blog, ideally you write a blog, and I'll tell you the reason why in a minute, but if you write a blog about it and you put it on your website, then the whole month of August, you're just talking about that theme. And guess what you're doing? You're taking it and you're posting it all over social media, and you're saying, guess what? There's a bulb that actually stores moisture for 13 months of the year, even through the harshest summers, and it's so resilient that it does such and such and such and such, and you can do the same as a human being. And I wrote about it in my blog. Click here. What's someone going to do when they see that post on the internet? They're going to click on the link, aren't they? Where are they going to go to read the blog? Your website. How do you get people to go to your website? You give them content that engages with them, that they want to know more about. So create a theme for the month. Pick those key dates that you could go out there and talk about your topic and post about it and get people back to your website. Because once they're on your website, then you've got downloads, then you've got inviting them to events, buying your book, getting into your program, following you on Facebook, you know, doing all these other things. So that's the way to do it. Let's go to the next month, summer. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's back to school, harvest time, end of summer. It's all about making the most of your time while summer lasts. In the winter, it's winter sport. AFL Grand Finals are on. Rugby League is on. Spring cleaning happens in September. Things are all refreshed and tidied up, and time to get into the new start of the warmer months coming up. So what can you talk about? The second Thursday of September is Are You OK Day. So if you're talking about resilience or hope or empowerment or strength, you can leverage off that day and talk about mental health and link it back. The 5th of September in Australia is Father's Day. Talk about strong men, the best fathers that you know, your father. How does it link back to your story, your blog that you put up there? The 8th of September is Literacy Day. 10th is Suicide Prevention Day. 21st is Day of Peace. 27th is World Tourism Day. There's all these days out there, guys, that you could be creating really good content. I'm going to flick through them a bit quicker now, but you've got the idea. October, Halloween. What are the horror stories that you could tell? Yeah, preparing for winter if you're coming out of summer, or going out with the kids and having fun and dressing up if you're in Australia or the Southern Hemisphere where it's warmer. So turn that into a story, dressing up. Are you putting on a fake face when you need to be more real? You know, how can you turn that into a really cool blog post? Next month, November, Thanksgiving, gratitude, appreciation. How can you talk about loving things that you have in your life or being more grateful for what you have? The 16th of November is World Tolerance Day. The 19th is World Toilet Day. The 20th is Children's Day. The 21st is TV Day. There's all these amazing events that are happening that you can be leveraging off of. Write one blog, choose a theme, have it overarching that fits with your brand strategy, and post on social media about it and get engagement. December, it's Christmas, of course. Family, gifts, food. Is it the middle of summer or winter? Almost doesn't matter. You've got World AIDS Day, Human Rights Day, Migrants Day on the 18th, but of course Christmas. Everyone's talking Christmas. Can you talk about, I know David's got a great opportunity when families are getting together at Christmas time, it's really stressful. So how do you cope with dealing with families at Christmas time? Being in a closed room with people that you don't see for the rest of the year and getting on with people that you don't really like. You know, relationships are hard. So here's my tips on how to deal with that stress at Christmas time. It's a great way to, it's a great, you know, post, and then just talk about it in that whole month of December. January, new year, new you. Yeah, let's go to trust. Yeah, can you trust that you're going to have if you make these New Year's resolutions that you're going to keep them? That's a great way of looking at creating an overarching theme to do with month to do with your brand strategy. It's about trust. What do you want your year to look like? Planning, goal setting, being realistic, all those sorts of things. You've got Education Day, Braille Day, Holocaust Day, all sorts of stuff happens in January. But you could, again, talk about it based on your brand strategy. February is the month of love, of course. Valentine's Day is a big one in there. What do you love about your life? What do you love about what you do? What do you love about your strengths and weaknesses? You know, there's all sorts of things you could twist and turn and create great stories and great content to do with what you love. And again, like I said at the start, go back and find the content you already have. You possibly even have an article that you wrote about Valentine's Day that you could repurpose and reuse just for February and get it done, get it started. March, Easter happens in March or April. If they're around, fresh start, breaking old habits, change of season. It's Mother's Day in the UK. Could you talk about an opportunity for change? Looking at things a different way. Zero Discrimination Day on the 1st, Women's Day on the 8th, Water Day on the 22nd. You know, loads and loads of opportunities for you to tap into repurposing and getting things done. April Fool's Day. When did you do something foolish or embarrassing? How to avoid doing something foolish or embarrassing. Anzac Day. Easter sometimes happens in April as well. Spring or autumn sets in. World Health Day on the 7th. So again, find a topic. Well, how could you talk about, you know, do you feel foolish when you speak out? Well, sometimes you need to be empowered and you need to speak out regardless of whether you feel like you're going to make a fool of yourself. Here's how to do it. I wrote a blog about it. Click here. Can you see how you can write really engaging content and repurpose it in social media and get people going to your website? Mate, now I'm a Star Wars fan, so May the 4th be with you, of course. May, Star Wars Day, but it's also the start of summer or winter. There's May Day, there's Memorial Day holiday in the States, there's Mother's Day in some countries, Laughter Day on the 4th, the 15th is Family's Day. Again, come up with something that you know people are going to engage with during May, either seasonal or business-wise or what your clients are going through, and just start to tap into those emotions. June, PTSD Awareness Month. It's also Pride Month. It's also Father's Day in some countries. June the 1st is Say Something Nice Day. June the 12th, Superman Day. June the 21st, Yoga Day. So go and find these dates that make it really fun for you to go out with some marketing that people go, oh my God, it's Yoga Day. That's so cool. So could you talk about how yoga helps your mental health? You know, is there some way you can talk about how yoga has helped you? Write a blog about it, come back to your brand theme and get it out there. Independence Day in July, of course. Everyone talks about Independence Day, 4th of July. It's also Canada Day and Bastille Day in July. There's Population Day, Moon Landing Day, one of my favourite days of the year, on the 20th, and Ice Cream Day on the 21st. So again, what could you write about? Independence, standing up for yourself, being independent, being resilient, being strong, being brave. You could do all sorts of great things. And guess what? Back to August again. And once you've done your year, guys, you don't need to do it again because you've already got it. 2022 August, guess what? You talk about the same stuff again. You might update your blog, you might tweak it, you might add things to it if you want to, but you just rinse and repeat. So if you've already got one, the Marketing Action Planner has all of this in it. It goes through your one-word brand strategy. It gives you monthly themes, topic ideas, newsjacking ideas, important dates, and how to repurpose. The pages look a bit like this. So you've got the month on the left with here's the important dates, here's some celebrity birthdays that occur. Then you've got other ideas, story ideas, research ideas, you know, helping you create your content for the month. And every month it gives you that in the planner. And then you can blog about it. Now, I'm going to quickly touch on blogging because a lot of people go, that sounds awesome, but how the hell do I do that? There's a really awesome way to do it. Now, when you download, if you have the planner, you should have also got the blogging workbook. If you haven't, you can go get a planner and you get a free blogging workbook with it. But I'm going to go through the 30-30-30-10 rule with you really quickly because it'll help you create awesome blogs that get far more engagement. So this is how to do it. The first 30% of your blog is news. It's newsworthy. So you've got your overarching brand strategy, your one word. You've now found that August is all about, I don't know, let's say August in Australia is probably almost springtime. So let's go spring cleaning, right? So we'll go, our overarching brand strategy is be bold. Audacious Agency, be bold, spring cleaning. It's time to throw out the stuff that you've been hanging on to. Let's be bold, let's be audacious and start throwing out the stuff that doesn't serve you anymore. You know, here's how to do it. So that's the 30% at the top, the big bit of news. Did you know that most businesses hold themselves back because they're scared to let go of stuff? Well, here's how to get rid of that and throw out the stuff and spring clean your business so that you're fresh and new and bloody blah, right? Overarching news. That's what people are going to go to your blog to read. That's the clickbait to get them to read your blog. The next 30% of your blog is information. Here's my 5 steps. Here's how to do it. Here's the 3 things or 2 things or the 1 thing or the 10 things. Up to you how many you do. Little dot points. Number 1, first thing you need to know about being bold and throwing out old stuff. Number 1, it's just stuff. Number 2, you know, what's her name? Marie Kondo was right. If it doesn't bring you joy, you need to biff it out. Number 3, sometimes when you get rid of stuff, it opens up new doors. So there you go. There's my 3 things, my information. So point of news at the top, followed by giving them some really good content. So the reason why you give them news to start off with is that it engages them. When you give them some really good action steps, how does that make them feel about you? Oh my goodness, for free, Julie McDonald just given me 3 things I can do to be more resilient in August. That's fantastic. I'm going to go and do, she's given them to me. What would happen if I worked with her? What would happen if I was part of her team? If I got more of that? You're giving them a little taster of what it would be like to work with you or to have your product or to have your services. So that's why you do it. The next 30% is call to action. You always need to put in there, that's why we're having this event. That's why our product does this. That's why if you click here, you can download this. That's why our program does this. You're letting them know that you have something more for them. And it can have a click here, it can have a book a call, it can have a link, it can have a whatever you want, a download. It might even just be, that's why you need to subscribe to my blog to keep them engaged. So a call to action in your blog. And then the last bit is some fun and inspiration. Use inspiring images, quotes, clickables, tweetables, stuff that people want to share. The best thing you can do with a blog is put images on there and so on that people actually go, wow, that's cool. I'm going to share this blog. And they put it out there onto their own social media. And now all of a sudden, you're 10x in your reach. You're getting out to loads more people. So is that helpful? That little process, 30, 30, 30, 10 rule. Yeah. So that's 14th of July is Bastille Day in France. Yeah, Grandparents' Month. Look, everyone's going and getting all these sorts of things done, which is cool. I will go back to your questions, guys. Sorry, I haven't been looking at the chat. I've been looking at everything else. So the next part of the planner, once you've written your blog and you've got your blog on your website, actually helps you to repurpose everything. So you get a weekly action plan. You only get 6 projects you can work on and 5 little steps you can take. So one of those projects might be my blog. Number 1, write my blog. Number 2, post my blog. Number 3, email my blog to my database to let them know that it's there. And that's it. Week 1, done. I've done my blog. Then next week, repurpose my blog on social media, post it out to Facebook. Next week, post it out to LinkedIn. Next week, turn it into a video or do a live. There's lots and lots of different ways that you can repurpose and reuse that blog. And all you're doing is continually sending people back to your website, back to your website, back to your website. Because that's where you get the engagement. That's where you get them buying from you, downloading stuff, buying your book, reading your things, coming to events and so on, back on your website. So yeah, you use that weekly action planner to plan out your marketing and your promotional activity to make sure that you get it done. Remember at the start of this call, we talked about no one has any time. We just don't have the time to do it. If you, and I do this, I sit down on a Sunday, you can choose whatever day you want, Sunday afternoon, and I spend a whole 12 minutes planning out my week. That's it, 12 minutes. And when I've finished a client call and I'm going, right, what do I do now? Instead of just jumping onto Facebook or going and folding the washing or having something to eat, I grab my planner because it sits here on my desk and I go, right, what are those things I've got to do? What have I got to do today that I can tick off? And seriously, it looks like this. I don't know whether you can see that on the screen. Mine is covered with scroll and it feels so great to tick them off and go, done, next. It makes you get it done. And it makes you consistent with what you're doing as well. When marketing global, can we address our content to more than one hemisphere? Absolutely, Ingrid. You absolutely can. Look, if it's winter, summer, all that sort of stuff, but you know where your audience is, then tap into what's going to engage them the most. You know, Groundhog Day, you know, people in the Northern Hemisphere understand what that is, or people in America do. Pick your audience and make it the most relevant for them. And remember, guys, to write down your achievements and your goals. At the end of every month, you should be going, what was I so proud of? What did I get done? You need that hit of dopamine. You've got to be your own best supporter in business. Write down, what did you get done? What were you proud of? You know, what did you smash? And what do you want to get done next month? What do you really want to achieve? How do you want to improve? You know, look forward, but make sure you spend that time celebrating your success. And repurposing, guys. Repurposing is so important. So you've written your blog, it's up on your website. First thing, number one, email is not dead. If you've got a database, even if it's only 20 people, send your new blog out and say to people, hey, I just wrote this article, little news headline, go and have a read, this is for you. People love being sent content like that. I was thinking of you the other day, and here's a blog that'll really help you. Social media, yeah, choose one key point. If you've got 4 dot points of information on your blog, just choose one of them and go out in social media and post about that one key point. If you've used an example of someone who's famous or a story or that thing about the tulip bulb or whatever it was, just post that one thing. Tease people and get them to go back to your website to read the rest. Share it on your own page and on others' page, in groups, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and then do the next key point and just keep sharing the same blogs the whole month. And guys, if you're not really that keen on writing, and I know there's a few people here who go, I really hate writing, can't I just do a video? Then do a video and get it transcribed. Go to Rev or SpeechPad or Otter. There's loads of different places that will transcribe it and turn it into a written document and put that up on your website with your video. Do blogging as well as blogging. Don't let the fact that you don't like doing something stop you. Make sure you get out there and do it. Do a video, get out there and make sure that you're repurposing. One of my favorite tools that we use all the time is Lumen 5. If you haven't heard of it, there's a little screen grab on the left there. You can actually turn your blog into a video. So if you're sitting there going, oh, Lauren, I'd love to turn it into a video, but I don't have the skills. I don't have the software. Guess what? Lumen 5 is free. And you can go and create a video out of your blog. All you do is put the URL of your blog into Lumen 5. It brings up all the images and all the content from your blog. You can choose music. You can take little snippets out and you can make up a little cool video and you then share a little video that links people back to your blog. Don't use excuses that you don't know how to do stuff when there's so much technology out there that'll help you. Go live, do a Facebook Live and talk about your topic for the month and tell people I've written a blog about it. Go and have a look. Share your story with the media. Rewrite it and put it onto Medium or Quora or all these other sites that are out there. Try and be a guest blogger. One of the best things you can do is offer to write content for somebody else and say, hey, I see you've got a really cool blog. Could I write an article for you? Make it different to what you've got, repurpose it, rewrite it slightly, but send it off to them so that somebody else is sharing your content. The best way to grow your audience is by tapping into other people's audiences. Same with being a podcast guest. If you can be a podcast guest talking about these topics that you've written about, you're going to reach bigger audiences. Turn your blog into a webinar. Get other people to invite guests, interview people and affiliate with people and grow your database. Turn your blogs into an ebook. There's all sorts of cool things you can do to repurpose. So don't let it stop you. Get out there and do it. So the Marketing Action Planner is there. It's available. You can go and grab your own one of those. I will put a link into the chat box so that you can go and grab it. It's $9 to download it as a PDF, and you get that free blogging workbook and all those pages that you can use to get everything done. And it's a little bit more than that. I think it's $30 for us to send you a hard copy. If you want us to send you a printed spiral bound copy, we can do that. I think we've got about 5 of those left. We're not far off doing a reprint, so if you want them, go and grab yours. But what people mostly do is they download it as a PDF, print it off at home, or go to Officeworks, whatever, and print it off, put it into a ring binder. And the tip is put the most recent month, the next month, August, put that right up the front. You don't need to wait till January to start, guys. You can shuffle those months around and put August right at the front and get into it straight away. Get cracking and start writing your blogs. So that's the planner. That's how we do it. There's more in the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group if you want to get in touch with us as well. But I'm going to stop sharing and start answering questions. So any questions, please pop them into the chat box. Paper only for Southern Hemisphere. No, Ingrid, we can send you one. We'll just have to work out how much the postage is. So go purchase it and we'll figure out how to get it to you. Don't panic about that. From Nick, that was a lot, wasn't it? A lot of content, guys. Are your brains bleeding? I'm really sorry. I gave you a lot tonight, but I normally give people plenty. Lumen 5 is awesome, Julie. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. What else do people want to know? Other questions? One blog and dates. Yeah, absolutely. Great question from England. Yeah, one blog a month. So create a blog page on your website, like a magazine page. And you don't need to call the blogs August, September, whatever. Call them based on the content. Make them really engaging. Answer a question. Put on there what it is that you're going to help people with that makes them want to read it. It's like newspapers. They write great headlines, don't they, that make you go, oh my goodness, I've got to look at that. So create some really good headlines. What if I don't want to do all this myself? Very good question, Christina. The secret to this is so cool. If you go through that planner and you find a theme for every month and you just write out the basics in there, here's some thoughts about what could go into a blog for my blog for each month. Guess what? You can then take that planner that you have done, theme for every month, and give that to a social media person and say, there you go. There is my marketing planner for the year. I now want you to write my blogs and I want you to repurpose and post on my social media for me. Absolutely. That is your strategy. Done and dusted. And you will then see this consistent message going up all the time. Same feeling, same emotion, same brand strategy, and people going, oh my goodness, I love what you're posting. And guess what? You're not even doing anything. Somebody else is doing it. But because you put it together, because it comes from your brand purpose, it's much better than just paying a social media person to come up with stuff. This gives them a really good guide. That was a great question, Christina. Absolutely. Because the whole idea of this, guys, is making it simple, making it easy for you. You want to make marketing fun, otherwise you won't do it. Amanda, awesome. Yeah, absolutely, Amanda. Get Fat Wombat out there. I can't wait to share your brand as well. It's so cool. You need to talk to Julie, Amanda, about Fat Wombat. Julie, if you don't know already, is an Olympic swimmer, amazing woman, and she would love probably to sample a good Fat Wombat. Which is cool. It's awesome product for swimmers, Julie. If you want to know, get in touch with Amanda Dowd. She'll get in touch with you, I'm sure. Alison, fantastic. Oh, great. Awesome. Everyone loved this. Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for help, Nick. Absolutely, guys. We're here to help. Great contact. Hire a ghostwriter. Absolutely, Nick. Give them the themes. Get somebody else doing it. Elizabeth Campbell is a great copywriter. There's loads of them out there. That way they write your blogs, or you can even get someone to put the blogs up there for you, and then you do the social media side of things. Totally up to you. Christina, yeah, sit down with us. Absolutely. If you need a one-to-one with us as well, look, you can go to theaudaciousagency.com. There are links on there to book time with us. You can have a free chat with us. You can book a session with us. There's loads on there. So certainly, Christina, go on and book some time if you want to have a chat. I can always get in touch with you. I feel like a fat wombat at the moment, Julie. That's brilliant. It is winter. You're welcome, Ingrid. Yep, absolutely. Have a go. That's the big thing, guys. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's so much more important to get out there. Spread the word. You have to be your best cheer squad. No one's going to do your marketing for you. I'm really sorry, unless you're prepared to pay someone to do it. And even then, if you don't have that to give to them, you can end up wasting a huge amount of time and money. So get your strategy right, get your brand purpose right, get really clear with your brand's one word, create your marketing planner, and then just take it off. Once a week, go through, right, what can I do to promote and market myself? Look at your planner, get it done. You know, yeah, absolutely, outsource it if you can, but make it easy. Because life's too hard, guys. It's hard running businesses. You want to make it easy. So thank you so much, guys. We are done. We are done and dusted. That was a massive download of information. Please let us know if you need any more help. Get in touch. We'll send you out the link to the recording. Go and get yourself a planner. Get into it. And if you need help, we're here. Nick's here for the brand crafters that are on the call. Annette and I from the Audacious Agency are here to help you as well. Get in touch if you need the help. But in the meantime, stay sane, stay safe, and just remember, you are absolutely worth it. You guys have the most amazing gifts and talents that the world needs, and you do deserve to be well known, well paid, and wanted. So get out there and don't let anything stop you. Thanks, guys, for joining in. It's been a pleasure. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.